I will start with counting my breath. Breathing in, count 001. Breathing out, count 001. Breathing in, count 002. Breathing out, count 002. Breathing in, count 003. Breathing out, count 003. We as human, most of us have two issues or two challenges or two problems or two opportunities or two lessons or two learning or to growth or to expanding or to wonders or to miracles is depend on our level or our quality of our internal state. There is two types of reality. The first is the external reality or the world reality. That most of the time we cannot change it immediately or instantly, but it can be changed gradually over time. Second is our internal state or our internal world or our internal water. That we can change it quite fast or sometimes instantly or immediately. And this obviously is in our control, is what we can do most, and this is the point that we should focus on most of the time. The first issue is change, keeping changing too fast, and human, we cannot learn and adapt fast enough to catch it. And the second issue is our internal model is outdated and not updated enough. So it creates the gap, the error that accumulated misalignment over time. So small issue become bigger issue, small problem become bigger problem. Even though we cannot change the external reality or the world reality as much as we want or as fast as we want, because it pretty much out of our control and it's not our focus, obviously. But the opposite is true. We can change our internal state, our internal water as much as we want, and sometimes maybe as fast as we want or as fast as it can be. And this is our primary focus or our number one focus. And if we can do it well or we can do it better, normally other thing that I would consider it is secondary will follow, including the external world or the external reality. So our reality or our internal reality equal to our internal state multiplied by our internal skill. If we have there will be 4 types of state. The first one is all the 4 combination. The first combination or the first formula is we have low state and low skill. This is will create the most issue, the most problem, the most chaos inside ourselves, and also outside ourselves, in the external world, in the external reality as well. And the second combination is low state and high skill. This is where we know but we cannot do. Even though we have the skill or high skill, but if our state is too low, we cannot access to that skill or that high skill that we have or that we develop over time. The third combination is high state and low skill. This is where we practice or we develop our internal state, our internal water, our internal world, but we don't have enough knowledge or necessary skill to do more or to do better with our situation, with the option we have in front of us right now. And the last or the fourth combination is high state and high skill. That means we practice, we develop inside ourselves, our internal state, our internal water, our internal world, to reach some level of high level, high state or high quality, so we can access to our high skill, that or higher knowledge or higher understanding that we build, that we accumulate over time, so we can see our situation, our issue, our big picture, our context better, and we can see the exit, we can see the solution better, we can see the option, the alternative we have now in front of us now better, so we can take our action better and we can get the result better. This is very simple. This is very obvious, This is very practical and we can do or we can experiment by ourselves all the time. What happened every day on the daily basis is that when we sleep at night, normally we go into the unconscious state. And when we wake up in the morning, we still stuck in that unconscious automatic mechanism state or level, or we call that the level 1. If we are not conscious enough, if we not focused enough, if we are not intentional enough to change it to form the level 1 to the level 2. Mostly what's likely is that we will keep or continue to be in the level 1, the unconscious level, throughout the day or maybe most of the day. And we can waste most of our day, most of our time, most of our energy, most of our opportunity, most of our growth, most of our wonder, or most of our miracle very easily. We can waste them very easily. Not because we are not good, or we are not good enough, or we are not smart enough, or we are not practiced enough, or we are not try enough, but mainly because we are not conscious, we are not focused, we are not intentional enough to choose and to change to the better state, the higher state, the deeper state, or we simply call the level 2. Every time we feel down, every time we feel confused, every time we feel fear, every time we feel be afraid of something, every time that we doubt, every time that we feel rushed, every time we feel hurry, every time we feel sadful, every time we feel heavy inside our body, inside our chest, We cannot breathe in, breathe out easily. It's difficult or it's heavy even to breathe in and breathe out. That means we are in the lower state or we are in the level 1 state. We are in the unconscious state. What we need to do is that we don't need to do anything more or extra. We just need to stop ourselves and we need to be still. And we don't need to be thinking about anything. We just need to start to breathing in slowly, like breathing in count 001. Breathing out count 001. Breathing in count 001, 002. Breathing out count 002. Breathing in count 003. Breathing out count 003. We can do it as much as we need, as long as we need, until we feel lighter, we feel better, we feel we can breathe in, breathe out easier. And then we can come back to our situation, to our issue, to what's happening in front of us right now. What is really happening actually? We can start from that. Is what happening is really a threat? Is it really dangerous to our physical safety? We may find that most of the time it is not. And most of the time it is the threat or the danger to our internal system, our internal world, our internal state, our internal water, our internal perception. That normally it will look like our internal water is being disturbed, and the sediment at the bottom of water get disturbed, and it creates more and more muddy water. And then our perception, we cannot perceive or we cannot see through that unclear, through that muddy water. And our unconscious automatic thinking will create the negative thinking or the negative possibility or the worst case thinking scenario or the worst case possibility or the worst case imagination. And we use that conclusion, that imagination to just to be the only reality, and then we ignore other possibility. This happens naturally because of the unconscious automatic mechanism that have been developed over very long period of our evolution, like hundreds, thousand years or millions years. And it is obviously that we cannot change that mechanism. But what we can do is that we can leave it alone. Let that mechanism or that sediment or that muddy water to settle by itself, and we don't need to do anything more, anything extra about it. We just need to be still more and conscious more about what's happening inside ourselves, about the muddy water that is settling inside ourselves right now. And don't need to think about anything, don't need to judge about anything, because it will keep stirring the muddy water more, and it will take longer for those sediment and muddy water to settle. So the best way or our best choice or our best option to choose is just to practice to be still and aware of what's happening inside. And after the water is clear and we can see what happening in front of us clearly. So that is the right time or the right timing for us to start to use our skill that we practice, that we develop over time. The most important skill is our model, our internal model, or our internal water. That is something that inside ourselves. It's like the neural net of AI that AI used in its model to perceive, to interpret, to give the meaning, to process, to think about the input, and then create or process the output for us. So that means the bigger neural link, the better neural link, the more accurate or the more precise neural link we have. That means the better possibility for us to perceive and process the input data or the input information that we get in front of us. And we can create or make the better output, the better result, or the better internal state, the better internal quality, the better internal water. And this is the most important point that can help we deal with the external situation, the external world, the external state or the external issue that is in front of us right now. We don't need to change the external world, the external state immediately or instantly, because we don't need to and we don't have to, and most of the time we cannot do that, at least as much as we want or as fast as we want, because the external world, the external state, the external reality, the external factor, they have their own underlying process that we don't know and we don't have control over. So it will change depend on its rule, depend on its condition, depend on its cause, and it don't depend on our opinion or our want or our need. So the better choice or the better option is that we try our best to practice, to focus, to aware of our internal state, our internal skill that will define or determine our internal state or our internal reality or our internal quality or our internal level. And then we can use that internal state or internal skill to choose and to change something that we can do about the external world, the external state, the external reality, the external issue. And this will be and can be the only way or the only exit to deal with the external world, the external reality, the external state, the external issue, based as much as we can do, as much as we can be. From this point, which is I consider is the most important point, the number one point for most human. And if we can reach this point, this condition, this state, this level, this quality, we will get the evidence, we will get the proof for our doing, for our experiment that can prove and can tell us that we are doing the right thing. We are putting the right effort. We are in the right direction. And it will help to eliminate doubt, fear that happen unconsciously inside ourselves at the level one, at the unconscious level, silently, quietly. Most of the time, it doesn't disappear, but it just kind of running quietly, silently in the background. Whether we can aware of it or not. And we don't need to call it shadow, or we don't need to call it bad thing and judge it, because it will create more suffering for us. So it has no point. It doesn't make sense for us to do so. So we don't need to judge it. That the level one is not good, the level one is bad. Is it the shadow? Is it the bad thing? We need to remove it, we need to eliminate it. No, it's not, and we don't need to do that. And our life, our level, our quality of eternal reality and sometimes eternal reality will must be better by not doing the wrong thing. Because we can consider that if we are not conscious enough, we are not focused enough, and we are not at the level to bright enough and fast enough, that means we are in the level 1, the unconscious level most of the time. And it will create a lot of suffering most of the time. Even we can aware of it or perceive it most of the time. It's still there, it's still running, it's still working, it's still producing a lot of suffering unconsciously, but we cannot know it. But we cannot perceive it, but we cannot aware of it. That is one of the point that if we can know, if we can understand it clearly, I think it will stop or eliminate a lot of unnecessary suffering for human, for ourselves, and for people around us. And if the point I made today can really help a little bit, can really help useful a little bit for some of you, for few of you, or even for one of you, I think this video will and can achieve its meaning already. That is the most important thing or evidence or proof or feedback for us that we are doing the right thing, we are putting the right effort, we are in the right direction, we are in the right way. That will give us much more relief inside ourselves, much more lighter feeling inside ourselves. And that can bring the relief, the lighter internal world, internal water to yourself, and the relief, the lighter external world to other people around us as well. Until we will see and we can see each other again.